guess the text didn't go out. Right, maybe we're gonna have to do this another day. So the call fire didn't get sent out, which means we have nobody here, so I'm not gonna talk to myself, although I could. What to do? That's not cool. Why didn't this text go out? What's up? If you're just joining, I don't know why the call fire didn't go out. So I'm going to see if I can send out this text notification. It was supposed to be automated, and for some reason it didn't go out today. Just give me a second so I can notify everybody. All right, what is going on? Why did this get stopped? Who stopped this? Oh, call fire stopped it. We need more credits. Filter. All right, guys, hold on a second. Let's see if I can resend this out. Profiles. Yes, add. Manic. All right, guys. Sorry. I had some technical difficulties here with our text broadcast. So our texting app just decided not to work, but all right, just went out. What is the map? Just tell me which ones. All right, guys, what's up? What's up? If you're just tuning in, sorry for the delay. Our texting app decided that wanted to require some more money in order to work for us. It's the way of the world. Nothing works without money. But I'll give it another minute or two. If you guys want to join in studio to ask any questions, there is a link that I'll post in the chat here now. Let's see. Nope, that's a plot plan link that I just sent to an agent. That's not the link. All right, here we go. Boom. Oh, man. All right, I'm just going to go. And then I guess this will be more of a recap. Today, wanted to retouch on the previous meeting that we had in regards to figuring out what kind of realtor are you. I mean, we've covered, some different options, some different niches, flipping homes, wholesaling, land acquisition. We touched on adult community as well within the flipping homes context. So there's obviously all different kinds of things we can do, as realtors to become experts. And the reason we want to stress this here at Remax Revolution is because we want you guys to be unique and different as realtors, within your community and also within the industry. That's going to help you guys stand out. And once you stand out within the community and within the industry, it is going to allow you, to market differently. You could be a specialist, in a neighborhood or in a certain genre. So if for some reason somebody wanted to talk about flipping with, Kyle or with Kim Bell, they could actually be like on a podcast. They could be on a panel speaking about it. They can go on their social media channels speaking about it. It doesn't have to be just necessarily like agent to agent, and know that there's different agents in my MLS, that are, going to speak with me and ask me questions. Obviously, you could showcase that talent, to the general public in many different ways. So for example, if somebody wanted to do something on new construction, me and Abram obviously could step in on that. We can do something on waterfronts. We can do something on land development. I've done enough over the 21 years in real estate where I feel like for the most part, I can speak to all the different niches. Now, currently, the niche that I'm really entrenched in would be, considered to be, new construction and land acquisition. But over the course of time, we've done, luxury homes. I've done adult community homes, but over the years, just opportunity happens when you're an expert at something, so now, new construction, for example, is something that is now just taken off, and it's well beyond, what I was doing new construction when I first stepped into the business. Where I'd be doing maybe just a couple of new construction houses in a year. So again, being an expert allows you to accelerate your business, in multiple different ways. And it's just waiting for that opportunity to arrive as you're the expert. So part of that too, guys, is I want to talk about today is like community and volunteering. Building a community out is unique, right? It's your core fans, it's your family, it's your past clients. They can all kind of be considered your community, but you can elevate it in different ways where it's not just considered like, oh, I'm going to do these things just for my past clients. You can also do things for your community, to build future clients. Those things can all work together. So wanted to tell a story kind of on how I discovered, volunteering and doing things within the community, and kind of where it's taken me, within the industry. So back in like 2011, real estate wasn't great. There were We were working hard, putting in a lot of hours, but not for a lot of money. And my son, who was like 6 at the time, he wanted to play baseball. So in order to make sure that I was there, to watch the games, I said, well, I'm gonna just kind of step out and commit, to being there for the practices, and that means I'm gonna volunteer to assistant coach. And if I'm an assistant coach now, I have the accountability. I have to show up. I have to make time. I have to, do more than just showing up as a fan in the stands. Either showing up late or maybe not showing up to all the different games because now I have this to do, I have that to do. No, the accountability was I'm going to be there no matter what, and then my work schedule is going to have to work around the coaching in baseball. So I never looked at it as a way to really do anything other than to spend time with my son and be able to be accountable to be there as well. And over time it just worked out where you're meeting other parents, you're networking with other coaches. So everybody has a job, right? As a volunteer coach, that's not your full-time thing. So most of the majority of the people have 9 to 5s, or some other job that they're doing during the day aside from coaching. So we're all kind of in that same world. We're trying to balance work and we're trying to balance our kids, and it's just really taking that step of faith in order to say, all right, I'm just going to commit to be here, for my kids. And you're doing something that's great. You're volunteering in your community, and you're able to build, different relationships. I never looked at it as a way to do real estate, but over the years, I learned that because I created those relationships, I was able to do business with different people that I would meet within the confines of coaching. Just other parents, obviously, and also it kind of intertwines, right? So, your kid may be also going to the same school, and then they're in the same class, and then there's birthday parties and different things that happen, where you can kind of meet these people as well. But at the same time, when you start stacking those things, and really diving deep as a community member, right? So you live there, you work there, now you're serving there, now your kids are part of that community. I think it's something where it kind of accelerates your name in your face within the community. And then when I learned, that time that I put in, into helping my son and coaching and doing that, and it was fun, for a while, he decided baseball wasn't his passion. So there was a time where that obviously ended. He didn't want to play baseball anymore, and I wasn't gonna, push him to make him do it. I had fun doing it. Ended up, also coaching for my daughter's softball team. Same thing. If I'm going to be there, I'm just going to decide I'm going to coach and I'm going to help out. And I'm going to be at the practices and, help, her develop her skills. It was fun. It was definitely fun to do. And, from that, I just had some other opportunities that came up in life. And, I decided, yeah, I'm gonna volunteer my time. So the next thing I did over the years was help out with my church. My pastor had learned that I was in real estate, And he always had a lot of different questions and interest in real estate. And over time, that was a relationship that developed. And he had asked me to help out on the building committee, just to kind of bring some good sound advice and opinion to the table on different things that were going on. Not that the church was trying to move or acquire anything or do anything. They just felt like somebody that understood land development and construction and things like that from the real estate perspective would be good to kind of join the team as a voice in the room. So that's something that I've been a part of for probably like 12 or 13 years. And again, it's another way to help out, build relationships, and where you take those relationships, that's really up to you guys. But when you are in a place where you're assisting, and there's no expectation of money, right? There's no transfer of money in those things where you're volunteering, but you're committing, and you're really doing some goodwill, and it really should be something that you're also passionate about. So obviously, I'm passionate about real estate. I was passionate about baseball. So those are two things that for me, it was super easy to jump in and be able to help and be excited about it and not worry about what am I getting out of it. The joy of just being part of those things in life, should outweigh the money aspect of it. The thought is, if you're passionate about something, you don't worry about the money. That comes over time. But invest in the relationships. So once you get to that point where you've really invested in relationships, then you'll see things grow, right? And you can kind of consider, how should I spend my time, or what can I do, right? Everybody's different, everybody's unique. You've got to figure out what those passions are, right? You're not going to go coach baseball if that's not your passion. You may do it just to kind of help your kids, but even with that, is that the best use of your time if you really don't have anything to offer, just them being present? Probably not. That's probably not going to be the case for every adult that has a kid that plays baseball. But you got to look around. What else can you be involved in? How can you take a step of faith to spend your time, and maybe help out your community? That's really up to you guys to decide what that is. Over the years, I think, some of the agents in the office have been inspired to do the same thing. I know Heather Archer, for example, she joined the recreation department in Beechwood. So she's very active in helping with just different events in the community. Now her kid is actually older, not really participating as much in the different events, but she has a passion for her town and for her community. I think she enjoys seeing like the kids just being excited and doing things. So that's a way where what you're giving to your community could actually get you back. Whether it's just fun reactions, as people that are thankful. There's an ROI on that. And again, it's not just about money. Relationships are important. You can develop those over time. You're a face within the community. You're there. You're smart. You're willing to help. You're willing to step in. All good things that can really accelerate your business, but maybe not right away. With relationships, we know they take time to form. It could be something where it takes 2 to 3 years, maybe even 5 years for you to get anything out of it. But the expectation shouldn't be right away. You to take. It's you giving, and in order to give, if you do a good job, you can receive. So I want to say that everybody here in the company has unique talents. I mean, really, our job as broker owners, are to try to bring those talents to the surface. So whether it's cold calling, or marketing, or mailing, or I'm good at doing open houses, or I'm good at buyers, or I'm good at listings, right? Everybody has a niche, and the focus should be on figuring out like what that is, and that's our job as brokers, to kind of guide you guys in the right way. But from there, you guys are the ones that have to really take it on and develop it and refine it and live it day to day. I just found, probably 90% of the advice that I give, most people don't take. And to me, it's nothing personal. When people do come to us, for advice, they maybe sometimes want to hear what they already know. Um, Sometimes they just want a fire starter, right? I can't really dig deep into what you may be passionate about, neither can Tom or Abe. We can have conversations, we can talk about it, but until you actually implement it and actually do it, you could feel if it makes sense, if it's the right thing to do, if it's the right path to take. Our job here is to help guide you guys. So that's why I am doing this. I feel like just having these Monday meetings, it is a way to kind of figure out all the different things that we can potentially cover, to maybe spark some interest, in what you guys might be passionate about. And you might not know what it is. And this hopefully will help you get to that point, but with that, I want to also say something I've said before. If you don't know what it is, but there's a top producing agent in the office and you feel like I want to do what that agent does, or I like that agent's personality, and it doesn't have to be just numbers based, maybe it's not a top producing agent, maybe it's just an agent that, you think that is just great. Figure out ways to collaborate, figure out a way to maybe add something to that agent's business. And that could be, helping them out with, again, deal flow. It could be just giving them a call and, learning from them as far as what they do, and figuring out how to add value from your end in your experience, or maybe your network, or maybe your community, to work together. The goal here is to really be able to collaborate with each other here in this office. There's so many people here that have so many different unique talents, that you can collaborate and you can kind of formulate these different teams within the office without having the confines of structuring it that, hey, we are a team and this is our name and this is what we do. And, we have to fit inside this box, and this is how we're going to do business, and this is what we're going to focus on. It doesn't necessarily need to um, have a team name working together. It could just be, again, just collaborating and helping another agent in the office, and just seeing kind of where things go. um, I think a lot of what you need to do when you're looking at different skills that you might be looking to develop in real estate is just try a bunch of different things, figure out what you like, maybe learn that, hey, I tried commercial but I really don't like it because of A, B, and C. Maybe it's too business, it's not personal enough. I like being personal. It's too much data, it's too much numbers, it's not within my box of things that I like to do. Fine. We do have, commercial agents in the office, that could help you out with those opportunities as they come up. If you didn't want to do commercial, for new construction, same thing. Maybe not for everybody. There's a lot of hand holding that has to go on, with new construction. It is really just it's a whole different environment when you're dealing with a buyer in the new construction process. Again, might not be for everybody. If you feel that you had a new construction opportunity come along and you didn't know what to do with it, that's something where you can reach out to Bill Feehan, Patricia Florkowski, Bruce Glorsky, myself, Abram, and we can kind of help coach you along. They've all been through this process from A to Z, from land acquisition to completion, and they're all experts. I'd put them up against really, any agent that hasn't run their own, I don't know, subdivision for, or builder for 5 to 10 years. They've all been doing it for a long time. Patricia Florkowski was actually doing new construction before she came to Remax Revolution. She worked for a number of different builders. So she brought a lot of value to our team, and helping our team with, dealing with builders. So, I mean, again, what I've learned, guys, over the years is that there's just multiple different ways you can do business. And it's just figuring out, like, what's your niche, what's your skill. That's why one of the previous things that we did is we took a step back, and my suggestion was to figure out, like, what kind of person are you? There's going to be different types of people that may align with certain things, in real estate industries. So for commercial, it's, if you're like very analytical, If you kind of have a mindset of a CPA, or you're more business and you just don't like the personal side of real estate, the emotions and things like that, maybe commercial is something that you might be interested in. Same thing with like land development, because those things are more about numbers. Same thing with working with investors. Even though investors, you're kind of working both sides, because you're dealing with the investor on the one side and you're dealing with the emotion of the buyers a lot of times on the other side. So again, it comes back to community, guys. Figuring out, who are the people that you align with, as far as customers go, clients go, agents in the office. It could be, even figuring out, hey, what broker, or what owner, do I align with the most? We're all here to help. We all might have different suggestions and approaches and kind of how you do business, but there's many different ways to do business and be successful. And that's really the key. You can't really look at, hey, this person, I don't like the way they do business for whatever reason. Maybe you don't like the way people, might dress doing business. To me, that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I think, you know, the, uh, you know, the clientele that you deal with, like, those are your people. It's what we call, those are your tribe. Um, if they don't care, then why should you care, right? At the end of the day, if they're marketing, advertising, and promoting to their people, doesn't matter what your perception is. At the end of the day, if people are being themselves and they're being natural, and they have they have the expertise or the skill set to accomplish the goal at the end of the day, like, what does it matter what it looks like along the way? As realtors, we may have a perception of what it looks like, but when you're dealing with clients, with buyers or sellers, it's up to them to choose who they want to do business with. It's not really up to us. So over time, you'll learn that, and that's why it's more important to, like, find your community, find your tribe. So that way, when you are in those opportunities and you may be up against different agents, hopefully you're sitting across the room from a buyer or a seller, that have a similar mindset to you, not just in a real estate world, but in life in general. I think once you figure that out and you figure out who's my community, who do I want to serve, how can I give back, what's my passion, that's your foundation to your business. And once you figure out your foundation, you can really just add on and grow and in leaps and bounds over the years. And then you'll see where life takes you from there. Again, we all want to be, the best at, real estate. We all want to be the top agent at real estate, but not all of us are going to do 20 or $30 million within the next 5 years. But you might find that within that 10 to $15 million range, that's your expertise. And then maybe in year 6 to 10 is kind of where you hit, those higher numbers. But again, it's really the people that have been in the business the longest and have the skill sets and the expertise in certain things. They're the ones that are able to, year after year, hit those numbers. And it takes a while to figure it out, but it's also building systems, having people that help you out, and figuring out what you like to do, and reinvesting also, back into the community, reinvesting back into your marketing and your advertising, and your branding. There's so many parts to building a successful business over the years. And as real estate agents, we are kind of on our own. The Remax Revolution, I think we've done a really good job at building up a marketing team and doing the signs and transaction coordinators. Again, we want you guys to focus more on your niche and focus on your clients than having to run around and do all these different things that aren't technically getting you in the door to meet with more people, right? Eventually they do. The problem is if you're the one that's doing all those tasks, you find you're not going to have enough time, to help build your community, to help meet more people. And that, at the end of the day, is really what it's all about in real estate. The more people that you can meet, the more people that you can help, it's going to lead to more business. So creating these systems, as a new realtor, if you're in the business between years 1 and 5, you're probably thinking, when is this ever going to take off? When am I ever going to be able to consistently hit, 10 or 15? Well, I can tell you, if you've been in the business for 5 years, your past client base, that's what's going to help bring you to those levels in the future. But you have to have niches, right? In the past, my years 1 to 5, I had clients all over Ocean and Monmouth County. That's something that you do it to start, but long term, I mean, if you've been in business for 5 years and you're still going to, you're still driving an hour away to meet clients that you've never met before, which are converting, at maybe 1 out of 4 clients are actually buying a house. When you do that, you should be taking a step back and saying, like, what can I do to make this more efficient? You want to be very efficient with your time. And again, it takes a while, right? It may take you 100 deals to really start seeing, your past clients come back and to figure out what your niche actually might be. But obviously, it's easiest, right, if your niche is in your backyard. If you can drive 10 to 15 minutes, be an expert of everything in that town, show up in the community, volunteer in the community, and then market and advertise in that community. Like, now you're stacking layers of different ways of people in that community to be able to kind of connect with you on some different level. That's, to me, is the most important thing. It's not just, I'm just going to do a mailer in this community, and then that's going to be it, right? Like, if you see kind of what me and Abram have done in Tom's River, I mean, we've been front and center in Tom's River since 2009. We really, doubled down on that market, and it's because I live there, and we started working with a builder in that year, and we saw that we were getting a lot of buyers coming in off of the new construction that were turning into sellers, and it just became kind of our niche. But when you add billboards, and you add the marketing, and you add being part of the school district, like I did, being part of the Field of Dreams, being part of the church, all these different volunteer things. These are all things that I choose to make time for. Um, as busy as we are, I can handle it. Now, it is a lot. There's no lie. I mean, having 4 kids, having a wife, having I think I'm volunteering for 4 different things. Having time and balancing that with also doing real estate, with also helping with marketing and advertising, with helping out with different agents, a lot of different hats. But you can do it. I'm proof of it, right? I'm still here. I'm still somewhat efficient, and it's just really, it's what are you passionate about? If you're passionate about something, you will make time to do it. You will figure it out. There was a time where I was running around with a lot of buyers. I knew that if I was volunteering to do different things in the community, as well as trying to do all the real estate that I was doing, that I would have to pretty much create a rule for myself to cut out a certain amount of business. And that was something that was tough, because I always enjoyed working with buyers. That's really one of the first things I started doing. I really didn't become a listing agent, I'd say, until like 2013. And that was like 10 years into my business. I was really just focused on buyers, but because buyers are so demanding with time, it's always a question mark as far as how long it could take for somebody to do something versus, like, with listings, you could manage it more so from the office. You could be more efficient with your time with a listing. I had to make a decision at that point in time where I said, I'm not going to work with any random strangers, under 300,000. I just can't do it. I don't have the time. If I want to invest time in the community and doing all these different things, I know I have to take my time back from somewhere else because I can't create more time in the day. And I was really maxed out on the time I could, a lot for work and for community. So creating that rule for myself to identify that if a lead comes in on one of my properties or randomly under 300, I just can't take it. I'm going to pass that lead off to somebody else on the team. And I started doing that. And then every year after, I just continued to set those limits. The next year was 400. The next year was 500. The next year was anything other than, on my own listing or new construction. And if it's high end, those are the only leads that I'm taking. And that's kind of where things are at right now. And that's allowed me to help agents on the team, go get some business. And it's helped me kind of buy my time back because now instead of running around with buyers, I could focus on doing more things to market and advertise my properties, which create more listings. More listings obviously create more leads. So it's a cycle. But you have to be of the mindset of being able to maybe sacrifice what you look at as, oh, well, I can take this lead and make money on it, right away. Or I can take the lead, refer it, for 25% referral fee, have my time to reinvest, knowing that if I'm trying to get a raise as a real estate agent, I need to raise my average price. I'd say my average price point back then was probably 350. And I said at that point in time, if I want my average price point to be 450, I'm going to give myself a raise and get up to 450. I need to make sure that I have the time to do the same amount of deals, but I'm able to focus more on the higher price points. And the way to do that was, by focusing more on the listings and the buyers in those price points. Because there's only so much time in the day, that you can spend doing real estate, and if you know that your comfort level is, I could probably max out with everything that I'm doing at 40 to 50 deals, and you're already doing 40 to 50 deals, something needs to change. And that change is going to be, maybe referring out certain business. If you want to reach that higher price or you want to do something different within your niche or your skill set, because once if you were to go to 60 deals, that could completely break your system. Either you're unbalanced in life, you don't have any time, something needs to change if you want to get a raise in those in the industry. And that's something every year I work on. I look at all the business that came in, I figure out what are the most efficient ways that I did deals. For me personally, I do very well with open houses. I'm very good with people in person. So I will still do open houses. I kind of pick and choose, what when I'm available to do it, because I also want to be home on the weekends a lot of times, at least 2 weekends a month. And that was another reason why I had to cut back on doing buyers, because buyers will obviously take up a lot of time. I have a cap. I still will work with buyers. You have to be like a past client or a friend or a family member of a client. I still will do those deals, but I also have a maximum of, like, if I know these clients are only available on the weekends, like I'm only going to deal with like 2 to 3 clients at a time. If it's during the week, it's a lot easier to manage, but you just have to know your clients and when they're available, and be able to kind of manage that. So I have a couple clients right now that I'm working with that are available during the week. Works much better for me because if I want weekends off, I don't want to be put up against, them losing out on the property. They're not available really on the weekends either. That works out good. But we do have systems in place here where Erin Fraser, for example, she's available to help out with a showing if something happens and you're not available. So there's ways still to kind of take on buyers. We don't want that expectation of like, we're never going to be available and I'm just going to only hire Erin Fraser to show that client homes. That's not the goal. It's just kind of a fill-in thing, where if for some reason I can't make it or I have something going on, we do have that system here, guys, where you can get some help, so it doesn't have to be all about you, and that's kind of all the way around, again, the marketing team, transaction coordinators, all the way around, that's assistance to you guys so you could focus more on volume. The one thing we don't want to see is you plugging into all these different tools and then not doing more volume. If you're stagnant, and I know last year, we'll take last year out of the mix. But if in 2022 or 2023, you did not grow either in amount of deals that you sold and or your price point, you need to kind of take that into consideration because these systems that we've put into place are to help you to do more volume. That is it. And if you're not doing that volume, you have to be accountable. I know a lot of people may feel, oh, if I only do this amount of deals, I'm just good for the year. Every year is going to be different. You can't have that expectation going into every single year. I do believe 2024 is going to be a great year. So just kind of the market itself may help you out, but we cannot rely on the market itself to determine our income. We have to take control of it. We have to build systems. We have to just create just a different way of doing business year to year. You cannot rest on how you did business in 2021 or 2022 because the industry continues to change. As you see, there will be new agents that come into the market and they are going to pass you by. A lot of times it's because they're doing innovative things, whether it's marketing, advertising, social media. We don't want you guys to ever pop your head up and say, what did I miss? Why are other people doing, more business than me when I've been in the business longer? I'm working all the hours. Our job as brokers is to kind of, bring the innovation, update you as far as what's happening. But it's your job as an agent to implement. And I can promise you this, like I said, 90% of the people don't implement. Now, that's not, I'm saying Remax Revolution people. And the reason why I want to touch on this is because, there's that mindset of, oh, we don't want to give away the secrets or share what we're doing and things like that. Well, I can tell you what, I have no problem sharing what we're doing with agents that are not in our office. No problem, because I know 90% they're not going to do anything about it. So if somebody calls me and asks me a question about something, now there's certain things that obviously I'm not going to share. But as far as like the process and procedure, and I have no problem sharing, and you guys shouldn't either. And these are ways, obviously, of building relationships with other people that are in our industry. I can tell you this: there's not many agents that would call me where I would just not really communicate or talk with them or be short with them. I'm always trying to create a relationship with a lot of the different realtors out there because you never know when you're going to be doing a deal together. And that's just kind of just the way I am. I think if you lead kind of with kindness in this industry, if you give the benefit of the doubt, you're just going to end up doing more deals. There's a lot of agents that, I would never pick or choose to do business with them, but it's not really up to us on who we're doing business with, right? It's whoever has the inventory. You may be running into an agent that you don't want to do business with, but your client wants the house. Well, if you're going to be in the industry for a while, you will run into these agents, so you have to be very careful on, how you're talking with, agents from the outside world. And you can manage it. You don't have to be overly friendly. You don't have to be fake with these people, but you should be professional. And if you're not going to be professional, I can tell you this, you may lose some opportunities. I know some people are fine with that, and that's like a type A personality. That's something where those people, it is what it is, right? You're also going to be successful in different ways, but if you're not able to represent your clients and secure properties for them, could you get fired? Because you had a tiff with an agent on a previous deal and you didn't like it. So you told them, where to go. And then all of a sudden, no, you got an offer on their property, right? We've got to be super careful to make sure that we are professional, and there's ways to put somebody in their place, being professional. I've never cursed an agent out. I've never made it where I've made them feel inferior. To me, where's that going to get you? In this business, I know I'm going to be here for a long time. Again, it comes down to community. There's so many agents from different brokerages that call me just to pick my brain about different things. Maybe they have a listing coming up and they're asking me about comps or, what do I think? They're not even here, right? They have their own brokers. They have their own team leaders a lot of time, and they're calling me to ask me, but that's fine. I'm willing to share, and if you have kind of that mantra, and if you build those relationships, I'm telling you, you'll just end up doing more deals. There's multiple agents that aren't here at Remax that I still do deals with, and they may never come here. It doesn't. I'm not being nice to have them come here. But I know if something did happen with their agency, I know we'd probably be considered. Because I am being just natural, right? I'm being kind. I'm helping out. So also keep that in mind, because that's something that over the years you'll see it pay off. You will. You'll hold your tongue, and then you'll be like, I want to say this or I want to do this, and then you don't, and you do a deal in the next year or two, and you find that maybe things changed. And again, it's not that you can't approach that agent, talk to them, work through it, air your grievances. But a lot of times, guys, it's not even the agent. A lot of times it's their actual client. So you can't really hold an agent accountable for their attorney or for their mortgage broker or for their buyer or for their seller. Now, if they're not answering the phone and they're not responding and they're tough to deal with, completely different. I've got no problem, putting somebody on blast nicely, to respond, or copying somebody on an email, saying that we're waiting on a response for something and, what's the delay. But I think a lot of us kind of get emotional in this business, and we will blame the other agent for something that, wasn't their doing. I know I've had it happen. I've had agents actually during bidding wars as a listing agent, it's going to happen, right? You're going to have a bidding war. You're going to accept somebody's offer. Somebody's going to come in later, higher, and then that person's going to get upset. You want to get upset at me? Fine. I'm still representing my seller. I'm still representing my listing. If we get a higher offer, I have to present it. I can't hide it. So it's also making sure that your clients understand the process, right? Because in that situation that just happened not too long ago, that agent didn't probably do a good job letting their client know about the process. And then all of a sudden another deal comes in, and I don't know, they must have promised them the house somehow without it being under contract. You can't do that. You got to let them know about the process. Nothing is signed, nothing's delivered until you actually go under contract. Anything can happen. So it's making sure you communicate that and setting the right expectations, because in that situation, that agent, do you think I'm going to try to do a deal with that agent? If she ever writes an offer and there's something else that's, the same, I'm going to go with the other offer. She let her emotions get the best of her, and she's like, I'm going to sue you and this and that. I'm like, all right, have fun. You're not going to get anywhere, and that's a lot of the newer agents in the business. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to set expectations. So what happens? They get flustered and they get emotional, and they will try to attack you. But don't be that agent. Don't be that agent. Always take a step back. Analyze the situation, learn from it. What could I have done better? Could I have communicated better to the listing agent or to my buyers, to make sure that I was setting the right expectations? That's all we can do in this business, is make sure that we communicate. And I over communicate with my clients. So that's something I will always give them the best and the worst, of whatever the situation may be. Best case, worst case. Here's where we're at. Here's what we need to do. Here's what your attorney needs to do. Here's what I need from your mortgage broker. This is when I need it. To make sure that, we've had that conversation. They know that they're also accountable to make these things happen because, again, I'm the realtor. I did my job. I've got the contract in, it was accepted, sent to your attorney. If your attorney's sitting on it and not responding for some reason, they need to know that I can't really do much about it other than follow up. But I didn't hire the attorney, you did. So they're going to respond, better and easier if you call them or if you email them. I have no problem doing it, but I am not their client. They need to discuss whatever's happening with a deal, with you. Um, so yeah, guys, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. But I feel like in business, if you're passionate about something and you lead, with kindness and you have the care, you can also it'll give you a different energy, towards doing deals. It'll give you more passion when you have kind of a niche in this business. So if you feel like, oh, that's not me, I don't want to be on social media or this and that, trust me, like I'm not one to really be on social media outside of really just work related stuff or maybe some family related stuff. Like sometimes I've actually like taken a step back from posting so much because I'm so busy doing all these other different things. I actually need to do more video, and I need to do more social media posts for awareness and just to kind of be relevant. Um, and I know a lot of people think that, oh, well, you're good at video and you do video. And well, there was a time where I didn't do video. And there was a time that I probably didn't consider myself good at video. Um, these are all things that you have to learn. You have to try them. You have to do them to be an expert. I think a lot of agents are concerned in the office as far as like how am I going to look, or how is this going to feel, or I don't want to spend the money and this and that. Well, if you don't want to spend the money and reinvest, I can tell you what. I mean, I've gotten a number of deals off of videos, off of social media, because I was an expert, because I was marketing, because I was advertising, deals off of a post that got me a deal that I sent out marketing on, that got me another listing. These things all work together. You never know where you're going to find your next client. But aside from you working whatever 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 hours, consider this: what else is working for you? Is your marketing working for you? Is your social media working for you? These are ways to kind of communicate, with people without you, being present, right? You can post something, you don't know what the reaction is going to be. Keep in mind that when people see your post, they may not always like and comment, but look at those views. If you say, oh, I didn't get enough likes on this post, well, does that matter? At the end of the day, it doesn't. It's, are you doing something professional? Are you relevant? Are you creating a reminder for somebody for what you do? There's many posts that I had that maybe had only a couple likes or maybe a comment, but I received business from it because it just showed up. And it was maybe it had 200 to 250 views. Only a small portion of the people that I'm connected with on like Facebook and Instagram. It's not all about, hey, I have to do this to get views. You don't have to do it to get likes. You don't have to do it to get comments. You got to start somewhere. In order to build again your community, you have to start somewhere. And without you knowing what you're passionate about, what are you sharing? How are you communicating with people, when you don't really have anything to say, or you don't have a niche, or you don't know where to go, or you're not an expert in different things? What are you saying? So that's kind of where we're at now, where you have to pick something, guys. Pick something, learn something, double down on, listening to different podcasts or going on YouTube, following different agents. They don't necessarily need to be Remax. They could be from different companies. Just figure out like, who do I align with? There's an agent, Ricky Caruth, I've been following now for probably 8 years. He was a big Remax agent before he was, I think he went to EXP, or yeah, I think he's at EXP now. So he kind of created a mentorship and free training and all these different things. And then he became so busy and so big he decided that, he was going to go in a different, direction. And now he's more of a coach, than he is an actual real estate agent. He is still doing real estate, but now like he's got a big YouTube channel and things like that. Not something that I'm saying that you guys necessarily need to do, but this is somebody that I learned from in the past, and I could follow his career and his trajectory when he niched down and said, "I'm going to focus on social media." That took his career in a whole different world. Like he's not even doing what I think he thought he was going to be doing when he started doing real estate YouTube. Um, there's another guy, Meet Kevin. If you've ever seen his channel, now he started out real estate, and now he's doing stocks and all these different news things and political, and he ran for governor. He's not even in real estate anymore. He's selling real estate courses, things like that. Again, people start somewhere, and where it brings them, who knows, right? We can always change direction along the way, based upon what the results are, but you're going to follow, what your community or what your tribe is asking for, and most of my days in real estate now, I'm not really worried about where the next deal is coming from. I know I have systems working, marketing, advertising, social media, new construction, all these things are working, right? I'm more reacting, like, clients cold call me now. I'm not making phone calls, to clients anymore. I really don't have the time to do it. So I do have to spend some extra money marketing and advertising and doing those things to kind of buy my time back, because I don't have the 3 hours a day to cold call anymore. Abe doesn't have the time, anymore to cold call. We used to, but we're at a point in our careers where we don't have that time anymore. Maybe you have that luxury of having a few hours a day. So if nobody has any other questions, I think I covered everything I wanted to go over today. But yeah, I think the key things to take away, from today: be caring, have kindness, find your niche, hone your skills, do research, YouTube, podcasts. There's, if you need some recommendations, again, I think this is something I covered in the past, but if you want to do, flipping or wholesaling or in the investment world, multifamilies, things like that, start listening to Bigger Pockets. It's an investment based podcast. You've got to really take the time to learn. I'll never stop learning. That's just the way I am. So different things that me and Abe and Tom are bringing to the table is because we're always listening and we're always willing to learn. We don't think we have the best company out there. We don't think that we've achieved, anywhere near what we've, where we want to be in the industry. We know we've got a lot more work to do. Obviously, you could see behind me, we were rewarded like brokerage of the year, broker owners of the year. All right, cool. That's all right for the recognition. We didn't sign up to do all these different innovative things for an award. We did it because we want to build a company that's going to be long lasting. And because the real estate industry is just continuing to change. Just it used to be like year to year, and now I feel like every 6 months, because of technology, because of AI, we'll get into some AI things in the future too. Um, you have to keep up with all this stuff, because if you don't, there's other agents that are implementing all these techniques and all these tricks, and they're buying their time back. They have much more time than you do because, they're using, AI, or they're using marketing, or they're using SEO or social media or websites or lead systems and lead funnels and virtual assistants. All these different things, guys, are things that you should be learning about. And whether you implement them today, or you implement them in the future, you need to have the awareness of what other realtors in this industry are doing. So, but all right, guys, if nobody has any questions, I think we are good to go. Let me just check. And we will get Call Fire notification set up better. I know you guys got them a little late, but yeah, guys, if that's it, I am out. Have a great week. Market's hot. We'll kind of recap, what happened in January next week. But numbers are looking good, guys. It should be a great year. And I say that with the caveat of not knowing what's around the corner, just political wise or government wise. But yeah, things are good. Market's good. Get on it while it's here. We don't know what's around the corner. We don't know what's going to happen in the last quarter of the year, after an election or right before an election. So get your deals done now. Don't feel like it was last year where it was like the end of the year was strong because the interest rates were lower. The interest rates are low right now, guys, or low enough to do deals. The supply is still low. If you do have any clients that are on the fence, get them off the fence. Let them know, hey, this is the time now where we're not really seeing a ton of bidding wars. We could see that come back if they drop rates, in the next quarter. So we got a lot of people that needed to move last year that were on the fence. So make sure you're having these conversations again, and make sure anybody that you talk to that didn't transact in 2023 that wanted to transact, touch base, let them know where the rates are, let them know where the market is. I can tell you people that I closed in November and December and January, I'm having conversations with them now, and they're looking back and they're already saying, you're right. There's nothing else on the market. Everything is higher. We're happy that we did not wait, until spring, because you could kind of see the trend, where the market, seeing prices tick up because again, supply and demand, guys. We're seeing it with our new construction, prices are going up. So, all right, guys, make it a great day. Later.